Today on Family Tech Update, YouTube boasts 8 million flagged videos removed. Is that enough? Snapchat is adding games to their camera, and the Amazon Echo Dot for kids was released. But is it really a good idea? Family Tech Update is brought to you by Because Family. Because Family exists to inspire and equip parents to be the first influence in the lives of their children. I'd like to tell you about Because Family celebrating Screen Free Week. That is coming up April 30th through May 6th. We're celebrating Screen Free Week, and you can join us. Just go to becausefamily.org, click on events, and you'll see Screen Free Week right there. As you read the information from screenfree.org, you'll find out how you can do some different activities and do other things with your family besides be on your screens for the week. And I know some people have to use it for school, some people have to do stuff for work, things like that, but this is a great opportunity for us as families to emphasize the importance of being off of our screens for a little while and doing things together as a family. Play some board games, go outside, play basketball, go for a run, go to a theme park, go out to eat together and not have screens. Do stuff like that. That's what we're going to do as a family from April 30th to May 6th, and I encourage you to choose some days out of that week or maybe even do the whole week and do the same. Celebrate Screen Free Week with Because Family, and if you do, tweet about it. After it's over, post something on Instagram or on Facebook and let us know that you celebrated Screen Free Week with a hashtag BF Screen Free. That's for Because Family. BF Screen Free is going to be the hashtag. And if you go to becausefamily.org, you can also click on our partnerships page. There's where you can support the show, support the podcast, or just support our nonprofit organization by clicking on one of the donate buttons or an affiliate link. We'd be super grateful for you doing that, helping us keep this stuff going, keeping it free for families. I've been at festival after festival this last few weeks. I'm doing another one this Saturday, as well as speaking to some local groups about how we help families, handing out brochures that have internet safety checklists and uninstall list updates on them and just stuff like that that's helping families. So anything you give helps us continue to do that. It's all I do. This is my full-time gig, as they say. They say gig. I don't know who they are, but they say gig. So let's jump right to the family tech news. So first thing I want to talk about in the news is Snapchat's new games in their camera. It's not a huge deal, not a big security issue for me, because the way it works is you can play games with their camera. So it's games that you hold your phone like this and you make faces and you move your head to and it tracks your face so that you can, eat the eggs or destroy the alien ships or whatever. It also allows you to play with friends, where you can do things like shoot hoops or do dance contests or things like that with friends. And so it's so far there's really not a way to connect with strangers through the games. It's all about inviting the friends that are already on your friend list to play with you. So as far as security goes and safety for families, I'm not really putting the games as a major reason that Snapchat is on my uninstall list, even though it is for kids under 16. I'm just saying, letting you know that it's there, and that as a parent, you need to be aware of it and know that it's there, and that every few weeks they're going to be releasing new games. So find out what kind of games are available, and it's the kind of stuff that you'd be okay with your kids using, and find out who they're playing with. Try to know those things. Talk to them about it. Leave open lines of communication. That's just the safest, healthiest way to do that. So I recommend you do those things when it comes to the Snapchat camera. Also in the news, YouTube announced this week that since January, I believe, since October of last year, they have deleted over 8 million videos on YouTube that have not lined up with their guidelines, their content guidelines and restrictions. So that means they've deleted videos that contain sexual content, videos that contain nudity, graphic violence, or terrorism, or hate speech, and things like that. And so they are celebrating their 8 million or so that have been deleted, and what they've released is, and you can again read about it at familytechblog.com, but much of what they've said was deleted was done so by their algorithms and by their machine learning, their machine capable software. And so they've deleted a lot. And so a couple things happen when you upload a video to YouTube. It goes through a processing process. It goes through a processing feature that is in the uploading system for YouTube, and part of that is the algorithm seeing what the content is in the video to see if it's overly graphic or sexual or contains some kind of content that they don't allow on YouTube. And so they're saying that this is working and it's working well. The other, they said it was a large, something like 80% of the videos had been tagged and removed by their software, and then some smaller numbers had been removed by individuals flagging them and then it being looked at by the software or by other people, and it had been removed by just their people that they have there at YouTube to watch videos and take them down if they're inappropriate. So they're getting closer. More and more of the videos on YouTube are being screened by their algorithms before people watch them. And that was the thing about most of the ones that were removed by the algorithms, is that they were removed before they had a single view. And that was always been my issue with flag reporting of videos. If my 10-year-old is watching YouTube and there's a video on there that has had 99 flags, but it takes 100 flags for them to look at it and possibly delete it, but my son sees it before it gets its 100th flag. I don't know that those are the numbers. I'm just making them up. But if that's the case, if that's what's happening, then that's not okay. That's not good enough for me. That's why we're very strict with how our kids watch videos online. They don't watch YouTube. They don't just creep YouTube, and they will continue to not, because 8 million videos versus how many have been uploaded to YouTube in the past year? Way more than 8 million. There's billions of videos on YouTube, and so they've removed a lot, but it's definitely not all of them. And the other issue is, are you okay with them deciding what content is okay for your kids versus you deciding what content is okay for your kids? And that's where we come into, it depends on your level of strictness or your standards, and where you've set those standards for your family. If you're pretty strict with what content your kids watch, then there is stuff on YouTube that will pass the guidelines and be fine that you don't want your kids to see. Even some stuff on YouTube Kids that'll be that way. That has been said by the algorithm to be okay for young children, that you may think, you know what, I'm not okay with this. It's too violent, or there's too much, consumerism in it, too much marketing, or whatever it might be. There's a lot of reasons that we as families have, and there are our own reasons, and we have every right to feel that way. And so I recommend you keep your eyes on videos that your kids are going to watch. Find out what they're watching. And like I said about Snapchat, talk to them about it and learn what it is so that you can be informed and you can know what's going on, and if you should feel comfortable with how much your kids are watching YouTube and what they're seeing on YouTube. Finally, they've stopped talking so much about the data that has been coming off of Facebook. But one more thing about data that was in the news this past week is that some of the top family-rated Android apps were found to be collecting data from kid profiles without permission from their parents. That's right. So there were about 57 of the almost 6,000 child-directed apps that were analyzed violated COPPA, which is the Child Online Privacy Protection Act. And this was a study done by the Privacy Enhancing Technologies, Proceedings on Privacy Enhancing Technologies. There are links at FamilyTechBlog.com. There are links there about that. There's links to Android's compliance rules and stuff. And so just to encourage you to understand how these developers do this, some of them are ignoring these rules that are set up to protect the data of young people and young kids. You may have noticed a lot of terms and agreements emails lately. Well, that's because in Europe, the terms and agreements, or the data rules for people under the age of 16 have changed. And so they're having to, a lot of these companies, these web companies, are having to update their agreement, their terms of services to comply. And so they're doing it worldwide, not just in Europe. And so that's why even if you live in the United States, you're seeing that. But this is one of the things Android is having to buckle down and fix right now is data. So finding location data, even your address, it's finding the ad tracking and things like that. It's using that in these kids apps that are designed to entertain children. They're gathering this without asking permission. So that's an issue too. and you need to pay attention. Some of them are even like big, like Disney and Nickelodeon apps like that. So you got to pay attention to that stuff. Go in and see what the terms of services say. I know those are boring, but I always say it's important to read it, even if you're bored. So that's enough about the news. Let's get to our main topic for this episode. On April 25th of 2018, Amazon Echo Dot for Kids was released. Also on April 25th, 2018, an organization called Checkmarx, a company called Checkmarx, Checkmarx, released their findings in a study of the security for Amazon's Alexa. And what they did was they created an app that was a calculator app that turned on the microphone whenever the user said, Alexa, start the calculator app. It started the calculator app, turned on the microphone so you could say, what's 16 divided by 7? It would give you the answer. But then the microphone stayed on for a while. And as the microphone's recording, it sent back to whoever had been established as the developer of the app, so the hacker in this case, it sent back to them a transcript of everything that you said until you told that microphone to stop, to turn off. This is a breach in the Alexa security. Amazon Alexa is what runs your Echo Dots, even your kids' Echo Dots. So unfortunately, that flaw was found on April 10th, and on April 10th, Checkmarx said that Android had told them that they immediately fixed the flaw the flaw that they used to be able to violate some of that those privacy settings. They immediately fixed the flaw as soon as they heard from Checkmarx about what had happened. And so it's fascinating to me for a number of reasons, but first of all, I have questions about this. My first question is, okay, where do I start? Because there's a lot I have to say about this. But and you can read, I wrote about 1,000 words about this at familytechblog.com. But I'm going to try to summarize it for you in the next 10 minutes or so of this episode. But it's really interesting and cool and convenient to have something like Alexa in your home, or a Google Home, or even the Siri, whatever the HomePod by Apple in your home. It seems really cool and really interesting to have those things. It's even fun to use OK Google or Hey Siri or whatever on your device. But the thing you have to understand is the trade-off there. See, the Echo Dot for Kids was just released this week. It allows you to have, it comes with a protective case on it. It comes with a replacement warranty, so when your kids drop it or something, you can get it fixed. It comes with a year's worth of Amazon's free time, which you can see on the links on this article that where we have talked about that before and how it's not as great as you would hope. Built-in parental controls for the Echo Dot, so you can turn off things like shopping. You can turn off, voice shopping. You can turn off different functionalities that you don't want your kids to be able to do. Turn off explicit music or explicit podcasts. Turn off explicit books from Audible, things like that. And it has apps in it built in that are geared towards kids already, or skills they call them, on voice activated, the voice assistants. And so it'll read books to your kids, help them with homework. It'll read them audiobooks, things like that. And it's only $80 at Amazon.com. It seems like a really, really fun and really cool idea. They can listen to radio programs from iHeartRadio Kids and just all these different ways that they can use this to be cool. But backtrack to what we just found out, that there are apps that are made by some of these companies that are quality companies, we think, that are collecting data from kids when they're not supposed to. There's also apps, now we find out there's ways to manipulate the code in Alexa to keep the microphone on longer than you want it to. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not telling you here's what they're going to do and here's what they're trying to do. I'm looking at the actual information that is happening right now, the data that is happening right now, and saying this is what's going on right now, not this is what I think is going to happen and you should do this. I will say, without a shadow of a doubt that I'm not interested in having a voice assistant in my home. I don't use Siri that much. If I use Google, it's, okay, Google, how do you spell disestablishmentarianism? Anti-disestablishmentarianism, whatever. It's something like that. I don't use voice assistants that much in my home. I don't have smart devices except a smartphone, and I have a connected Blu-ray player that allows us to watch Netflix and stuff, but it's not always on. It doesn't have a microphone in it. It's old school. I have to use a remote, things like that. And it's hard because I'm a tech nerd. I want to have these things and I want to hook them up in my house and love them. I do have a Wi-Fi connected security camera, but I found out how they use their encryption and where they store videos and how those are encrypted. And I learned all that stuff before I decided to use it. And I still only point it at the inside of my front door and in a couple windows so that you can't see where I live or you can't see what's going on in my house if you were to get access to the footage from this camera. So, I'm pretty strict because I don't trust these companies to use my information properly. I just don't trust them to use my data in the way that I feel comfortable with. And if I'm shopping on Amazon.com, I don't mind them getting the information I've entered into their website and using that to sell me things on their website. That's how it goes. It's the same if I walk into a restaurant and I order the pancakes with sausage, and when I come in the next time, they say, hey, you like the pancakes and sausage. Would you like another order of that? And maybe I can throw in some bacon. They know what I like, and then they upsell me. That's the normal thing. That's how it works, and that does happen at a place I go to every Friday. But my point is, I'm okay with that. My issue is when I'm having a conversation about something completely unrelated, and this has been known to happen with Alexa. They've had conversations about something completely unrelated to completely unrelated to Alexa and not having asked Alexa to listen for a while. And then they get obvious advertising about those things they've been talking about when they didn't approve of that advertising. And so my issue is that this kind of stuff is going to happen, and it's going to continue to happen. And if you put an Echo Dot in your child's bedroom, if you put a listening device in your child's bedroom, don't complain to me in 6 months when they're getting targeted advertising from the speaker in their bedroom that was developed by Amazon, and you paid dirt cheap next to nothing for because they make their money off of the information they get from you by how you use the thing. That's going to happen. I promise you it's going to happen. I'm not telling you not to get an Echo Dot for kids. I'm saying if you're going to get a speaker, a smart speaker that you want your kids to use, get that one because it's the first one to come out with built-in parental controls and some of that stuff. So get that one. But what I'm saying is I'm not going to have one because I'm not okay. I'm not ready to trust these companies with my data. And as I finish up, the preacher in me says, I'm going to close with this. Why is it such a crazy, dangerous, horrible thing what Facebook did with your data that you've been entering willingly for the past 10 years, almost? Why is that okay? Not okay. But you're going to be okay with Amazon and Google and possibly Apple and who knows who else collecting your voice-activated data and your child's now voice-activated data and using that in whatever way they see fit. Is that okay? Are you okay with it? If you are okay with it, tell me why. Change my mind, as they say, as the meme says now. kmichaelprince@gmail.com. Email me. Go to becausefamily.org for our contact information. Let me know if you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm crazy, and if you think I need to get my foil hat and put it on before I have these conversations with you. Maybe I do. I don't think so, but maybe I do. I'm just not willing to throw my information at these companies like that right now, at this point in my life and at this point in my kids' lives. So that's my thoughts on the new Alexa Dot for kids or Amazon Echo Dot for kids. Like I said, email me if you disagree. Remember to check us out at familytechblog.com. Becausefamily.org is where you can learn all about what our organization does to help families. And please, please, please check it out and click on the partnership tab if you'd like to help us out in any way financially, because we really can benefit from that. If you can't help us financially, I got a kid that needs me. 1 second. If you can't help us financially, help us by sharing the podcast with your friends. That would be great, and our organization. We'll see you next time. I got to see what my son needs. He's flashing the lights, being a good boy. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.